Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell y'all something today. Now look here, I know some of y'all ladies are sitting up late at night looking at your phone like, why hasn't he texted me? What's wrong with him? He said he liked me. He was all in my face, smiling, talking sweet. Now it's radio silence. Let me tell y'all something right now. This is one of the biggest misunderstandings between men and women. Women always say, men are so simple, y'all don't think, y'all don't care, y'all just go with the flow. Now, yes, on the surface, we are simple creatures. We like what we like, we say what we mean most of the time, and if something works, we don't see no reason to change it. But here's the part that gets missed. Pride. Ooh, let me tell you, a man's pride is not simple. A man's pride is layered, fragile, unpredictable. And if you don't understand how deep that runs, you're going to keep asking questions like, why hasn't he texted me? When the answer is right there in front of you. See, when a man meets a woman he's really into, something shifts in him. I ain't talking about just looks. No, I mean a woman who stirs up something in his chest. A woman who makes him nervous. Who makes him check his breath twice before talking. A woman who makes him feel like he better step his game up. That woman, she activates something deep in a man's ego. And guess what? That's when pride walks in and pulls up a chair. Because now he's not just trying to holler, he's trying not to get hurt. He's trying to protect his image, protect his confidence. He's trying not to look like a clown, because a man will take a lot of L's in life, but getting shut down by the woman he's crushing on, that one stings deep. Now, here's where it gets real tricky. A man's pride will talk him out of doing what he wants to do. He wants to text you. He wants to see how your day is. He wants to say, hey, I was thinking about you. But pride whispers in his ear, nah, bruh, don't be thirsty. What if she don't reply? What if she shows her friends? What if she laughs at you? That pride will have a grown man scrolling past your name in his phone, pretending like he ain't bothered, all while he's dying inside to just hit send. And listen, it ain't even about you doing anything wrong. It's the story he's telling himself. That little internal movie where he's the fool for reaching out first. That movie where you've already forgotten him, already moved on, already brushing him off before he even tries. It's not about reality, it's about perception. And a man's pride will always choose to protect perception over taking a risk. Ladies, I'm going to tell you something most men won't say out loud. We are terrified of not measuring up. We might act cool, like we don't care, like we're confident. But when we really like you, that's when the fear sets in. That's when we start comparing ourselves to the dudes you used to date or the ones you post about on Instagram. That's when pride becomes a wall we hide behind. You think he ghosted you? Nah, baby. He ghosted himself. He pulled back before you could pull away. He stayed quiet to avoid feeling exposed. Because once a man's pride gets bruised, it don't heal fast. It sits in the back of his mind, reminding him not to take that chance again, not to be the first one to reach out, not to send that text he's been typing and erasing for 3 days. So you left wondering, why won't he just text me? And he's sitting on the other side thinking, what if I text her and she don't care? See how pride works? It's not simple at all. It's loud, it's insecure, it's scared, And it's the one thing that'll stop a man from doing what his heart already decided on. That's why understanding a man's pride is key, because sometimes it ain't about the interest. It's about the insecurity. And that's a whole different game. Let me tell you something real plain. There is nothing on this planet, not bills, not heights, not even snakes, that can freeze a man in his tracks like the fear of being rejected by a woman he really wants. I'm not talking about some casual, she cute, let me shoot my shot kind of woman. I'm talking about the kind of woman who gets in his head, the one who makes him pause mid-conversation, the one he thinks about when he lying in bed, phone in hand, thumb hovering over that sand button. That woman, oh yeah, she makes fear real. Now y'all gotta understand, men are not taught to deal with rejection emotionally. We're taught to be strong, tough, cool under pressure. But let me tell you, ain't nothing cool about bearing your feelings and getting hit with silence, or worse, curved. A man might take a punch better than he takes I'm not really feeling this, sorry. That hits different. That hits his confidence. That hits his identity. Because to us, rejection ain't just a no. Rejection is a message we hear real loud in our heads. You're not enough. You not him. You didn't make the cut. So when a man gets rejected or even thinks rejection is on the horizon, he shuts down. That fear starts playing tricks on his mind. He starts second guessing everything. Did I say too much? Did I say too little? Am I not her type? Does she think I'm broke? Did she laugh at my last text? The fear doesn't wait for facts. It fills in the blanks with worst case scenarios. And fear is like quicksand. Once a man steps into it, he gets stuck. And the more he thinks, the deeper he sinks. You ever heard a man say, I was going to text her, but I didn't want to look stupid? That's fear talking. That's a man who wanted to show up, but couldn't get past the thought of looking like a fool, because to him, silence from you feels like an audience laughing. Left on read feels like a spotlight of embarrassment. One word replies feel like a whole speech saying, boy, bye. And the thing is, even strong men, successful men, confident men deal with this fear. It don't matter how fine he is, how much money he makes, or how many women want him. When it's someone he actually cares about, someone who makes him feel vulnerable, that fear of rejection hits even harder, because now he's not afraid of losing a shot. He's afraid of losing you before he even gets a chance to try. So what does he do? He waits. He stalls. He tells himself, let me wait till the time is right. But truth is, he's waiting because he's scared. And that fear becomes his excuse. And the longer he waits, the more intimidating it becomes. That simple, hey, he wanted to sin starts feeling like a life or death decision. And here's the wild part. Sometimes the guy who ghosted you isn't the player. He's the scared one. The one who didn't know how to risk his pride. The one who thought silence was safer than no. The one who cared too much to get hurt by the answer. A lot of men deep down would rather imagine what could have been than risk hearing it wasn't meant to be. That fear, unspoken, quiet, heavy, is the reason you staring at your phone wondering why he didn't text, while he's sitting on the other side of town staring at his own phone wondering if it's already too late. It's not that he doesn't feel anything, it's that he feels everything. And that fear of being unwanted, unchosen, unworthy, that'll paralyze a man like nothing else on this earth. Now listen to me. This one right here gonna surprise a lot of ladies, because y'all always think is y'all getting overlooked or ignored. But what if I told you the reason that man hasn't stepped to you, hasn't texted you, hasn't followed up, ain't because he doesn't want to, but because he's already convinced himself he's not even on your level. Oh yeah, I said it. See, when a man sees a woman he's really attracted to, I'm talking that head turning, confidence walking, glow all over kind of woman. He doesn't just admire her. He starts analyzing, he starts comparing, and more times than he'll admit, he'll start subtracting from himself. He'll start picking himself apart piece by piece. I don't drive what she probably used to. I ain't got a body she posting about. She probably date lawyers, ball players, entrepreneurs. What she want with me? That man will psych himself out before you ever get the chance to reject him. He'll look at your photos and see how you carry yourself, how people comment under your posts, how you dress, how you speak, and he'll think, man, I can't match that energy. He'll assume that somebody like you already got a whole lineup. He'll assume he just another name in the inbox, another message in the request folder, another guy trying to shoot a shot that'll never land. And the truth is, he might be wrong. He might be exactly what you want. But that don't matter if he doesn't believe it. Because when a man thinks he's playing in a league he don't belong in, he won't even step on the field. He'll sit himself on the bench, not because you pushed him there, but because he didn't think he had what it took to be chosen. Now, I know some of y'all are thinking, well, if he can't handle me, he ain't the one for me. And I feel that. But understand, this ain't always about weakness. This is about internal doubt. This is about a man who's been told his whole life to man up, be confident, shoot his shot, but deep down he's carrying silent insecurities, stuff he's never said out loud, stuff he might not even realize until you walk in the room. You ever notice how some men act real confident around certain women, but get awkward and quiet around others? That ain't shyness. That's internal comparison. That's a man saying to himself, she's got her stuff together. She look like she know her worth. She ain't about to play games. I can't come at her halfway. So what does he do? He goes silent. He pulls back. Not because he's not interested, but because he's intimidated by how high your standard looks from where he's standing. And let me tell you this, men don't like feeling small. They don't like feeling like they got to catch up just to get noticed. If a man thinks he gonna feel invisible next to you, he will leave himself out of the conversation entirely. And it don't matter how sweet, how down to earth, how approachable you really are. If the image he's got of you in his head says she's too good for me, he'll believe that more than he believes your smile or your kindness. A man would rather miss out on something real than risk getting hurt trying to reach for something he's convinced himself he can't hold. That's how deep self-doubt goes. So when you're wondering why he didn't shoot his shot, why he didn't follow up, why he liked your story but never said a word, sometimes it's not because he's playing games. Sometimes it's because he looked at you and thought, she's a 10 and I'm just a maybe. And when that happens, that man gonna bench himself every time. Now, let's talk about something that drives men absolutely crazy. Something that keeps us up at night, pacing the floor, staring at our phones like they got secrets. Mixed signals. You want to know why a man didn't text you back? Why he stopped reaching out when things seem to be going good? Why he's acting different even though you swear you were vibing? It might just be because the messages you're sending through words, actions, or silence ain't lining. See, men like clarity. We may not always say what we mean, but we sure do want to know what's real. A man needs to feel solid ground under his feet, especially when he's taking the risk to put himself out there. But when you say one thing and do another, or when your energy feels warm one day and cold the next, he doesn't know where he stands. And that's when his brain starts spinning like a wheel. Let me paint a picture. You text him with excitement one day, replying quick, laughing at his jokes, sending heart emojis. Then the next day, dry, one-word replies, a whole 5 hours to respond. Now, maybe you were just busy, maybe you weren't in the mood, maybe it was nothing, but to him, it's everything. He starts questioning himself. Did I say something wrong? Did I come on too strong? Is she over it? Did she meet somebody else? He will sit there and dissect that silence like it's a science project. Because when a man doesn't understand your signals, he starts to assume the worst. He starts to overthink. He replays every message, every conversation, every look you gave him, trying to figure out where it shifted. And the thing is, even if he knows you're not playing games on purpose, the inconsistency makes him feel like he's playing a game with no rules. And no man wants to be in a situation where he feels like he's always guessing. You smile at him in person, but don't answer his texts later. You flirt with him when you're bored, then go cold when he actually opens up. You post something deep, emotional, then act like everything's cool the next time y'all talk. These little things to a man are not little. They're signs, clues, puzzles he's trying to solve because he wants to understand how to show up for you. Now, I'm not saying you owe anybody constant attention or perfect communication, but I am saying this. If a man can't read where he stands with you, he's going to retreat. Not because he's weak, not because he's playing you, but because confusion makes him feel vulnerable. It makes him feel like he's stepping into a trap. And remember, most men are trained to protect themselves emotionally. If something feels risky or unclear, he'll pull back just to protect his pride and mixed signals make a man feel like he's walking through fog. He can't see what's real. He can't feel confident. And when he doesn't feel confident, he won't move. A man who feels uncertain will choose silence over misstep every time. He'll back off before he embarrasses himself. He'll convince himself you're not really interested, even if you were, simply because the signals didn't match. So if you're wondering why he didn't text, why he stopped trying, why it all cooled down out of nowhere, it might not be that he lost interest. It might be that your actions left him confused, and in his world, confusion equals danger. And when a man senses danger, not physical, but emotional, he'll shut down the whole operation just to stay safe. Because when a man starts overthinking, he stops acting. And when the signals don't make sense, he'll never feel safe enough to send that next message. Let me break this one all the way down for you. You might be sitting there thinking this man has forgotten about you, that he's not interested, that he's ghosted you and gone on about his life. But the truth is that man is watching quietly, carefully, silently. Oh, he sees you. He just ain't saying a word. See, men have a tendency to observe before they approach, especially when emotions are involved. We're not always going to text you or call you or comment on your post, but we're tuned in. Don't let that silence fool you. That man you think moved on, He's still checking your story, still scrolling your page, still looking at your captions, seeing who's in your pictures, reading between the lines like he's solving a mystery. And you know why? Because men like to gather information before they make a move. If a man is unsure about how you feel, if he's trying to figure out where he stands, if he's debating whether or not to reach back out, he's going to do some recon first. He wants to know if you've changed, if you're still